Jai Mahamaya ki Jai. Bole Baba ki Jai. In the last discourse, we heard about all the Devis fighting the demons, and finally, at the end of the chapter, Ratabija, the great warrior, came to the battle to face the Devi. So let's move on with chapter 29. Vedavyasa said, "O king, please hear attentively about the extraordinary boon that was given by Lord Shiva, the god of gods, to this great warrior, Ratabija. Whenever a drop of blood from his body falls to the ground, immediately will arise innumerable demons equally in form and power to him. Thus the Deva Shiva granted the demon this wonderful boon. Thus elated with this boon, he entered into the battlefield with great force in order to kill Kalika with Ambika Devi. Seeing this Vaishnavi Sakti, lotus-eyed, seated on the bird Garuda, this demon struck her with a violent weapon. She then baffled the weapon by her club and hurled her supersonic disc on that great Asura Ratabija. Thus struck by the disc, blood began to ooze from his body as the red stream of soft red sandstone comes out of the mountaintop. Wherever on the surface of the earth drops of blood fell from his body, then and there sprang out thousands and thousands of demons just like him. Instant the wife of Indra became very angry and struck the terrible Ratabija with her thunderbolt. Streams of blood then began to ooze from his body. No sooner the drop of blood fell from the demon's body than were instantly born from the blood many powerful demons of similar forms, having similar weapons, and hard to be conquered. Nirashimi then pierced the demon with her nails. The Rahi struck him with her teeth. Then the demon became very angry and shot at them all with sharpened arrows and pierced them all. Thus, when the Matrika Devis were pierced by the clubs and other various weapons of the great demon, they got very angry and pierced the demon in return with shots of arrows. Kumari too struck at his breast with her weapon, named the Shakti. The demon then got angry and hurled on a multitude of arrows and began to pierce them. O king, the Chandika Devi, getting angry, cut off his weapons into pieces and shot violently at him other arrows. Thus, struck by several blows, when blood began to flow in profuse quantities from his body, thousands and thousands of demons resembling Ratabija sprang out instantly from it. So much so that the heavens were all covered over with Ratabijas that sprang up from the blood. They all covered all over their bodies with coats of armor, began to fight terribly with weapons in their hands. Then the Devas, seeing that these innumerable Ratabijas were striking the Devi, became very much frightened and were distressed with sorrow. They began to talk with each other with sorrowful countenance, that thousands and thousands of huge-bodied warriors were springing from the blood. These were all very powerful, so how could they be destroyed? In the battlefield, there were now left only the Matrikas, Kalika, and Chandika. It would be certainly extremely difficult for them to conquer all these demons. And if at that moment Shubha and Nishimha were to join with that army, certainly a great catastrophe would occur. When the Devas were thus extremely anxious, excuse me, out of terror, Ambika Devi said to the lotus-eyed Kali, "O Chamunda, open up your mouth quickly. No sooner I strike Ratabija with weapons, you would drink off the blood as fast as it runs out of his body. Instantly I will kill those demons sprung from his blood and sharpened arrows, clubs, and swords, and you then will be able to devour them all at your will, and then roam in this field as you like. O large-eyed one, you would drink off all the jets of blood in such a way that not a drop of it escapes and falls on the ground. And then when they are all devoured, no more demons will be able to spring. Thus they will surely be extirpated. Otherwise, they will never be destroyed. Let me begin to strike blows after blows on Ratabija, and you better drink off quickly all the blood, being intent on destroying the forces. O Chamundai, thus the demons being all exterminated, we will hand over to the Indra, the Lord of the Devas, his heavens, without any enemy, and thus we can peacefully and happily go to our own places. The Chamunda Devi, of furious strength, hearing that the Devi's words, began to drink the jets of blood coming out of the body of Ratabija. The Devi Ambika began to cut the demon's body into pieces, and Chamunda, of thin belly, went on devouring them. Then Ratabija, becoming angry, struck Chamunda with his club. But though she was thus hurt severely, she drank off the blood, and then devoured all the limbs thereof. O king, thus Kalika Devi drank off all the blood of all the other powerful wicked demons, Ratabijas, that sprang out of that blood. Ambika thus destroyed them. Thus all the demons created out of the blood were devoured. Then there was left, lastly, the real Ratabija. Ambika Devi then cut him asunder into pieces by her axe, and thus killed him. Thus, when the dreadful Ratabija was slain in the battle, the demons fled away trembling with fear, without any weapons, covered all over their body with blood and void of consciousness. They uttered dumb, confounded, "Alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened?" Thus crying, they told their king Shumba thus, "O king of kings, Ambika Devi has killed Ratabija, and Chamunda had drunk all of his blood. The carrier of the Devi, the powerful, ferocious lion, killed other powerful warriors, and Kali devoured the remaining soldiers. O Lord of the demons, we have fled and come to you to give you the news of the battle and to describe the wonderful doings of this Chandika Devi in the battlefield. O king, in our opinion, no one will be able to conquer that lady, to be he a demon, a Daita, a Gandharva, Asura, Yaksas, Rakshasa, or any one. O king of kings, the other goddesses, Indrani and others, have come to the battle on their own carriers respectively, and they're fighting with various weapons. O Lord of the demon forces are all slain by them with the excellent weapons in their hands. Even Ratabija has been slain in no time. That lion of indomitable powers killed the Rakshasas in the battle, the Devi alone in hand to conquer. How much more would be impossible to conquer her when she has been joined with other goddesses? So consult with the ministers and do what is reasonable. In our opinion, it is better to make treaty with her and quit your enmity. O king, think over the fact that that lady destroyed all the demons and at last drank off the blood of Ratabija and at last killed him. What on earth can be more wonderful than this, O king? The Devi Ambika killed all the demons and Chamunda devoured their blood, flesh and all. Considering all this, it is now better for us to serve the Devi Ambika or fly away to Patala. No more fighting is desirable. She is not an ordinary woman. She is Mahamaya. There is not the least doubt in this. Only to serve the cause of the gods, she has manifested herself and is now destroying this whole race. Hearing thus, Sumba got confounded by Kala, death. As his end was coming nigh, and said the following words, his lips quivering with anger: "You are struck with fear, so you all take the refuge of Chandika or fly to Patala, but I will kill her with all my exertion and effort. I conquered all the forces of the Devas, and I have enjoyed their kingdoms. Shall I now, out of fear of one lady, fly and enter into Patala? All my attendants, Ratabija and the other heroes, are now slain in the battle. And is it possible that I would now fly away out of the sake of preserving my life only? See, the death of all beings is ordained by call, and it is unavoidable. No sooner a being is born, he is liable to the fear of death. How can a man then, out of fear of death, quit all this name and fame? O Nishuma, I will now go immediately to the battle, mounted on my chariot, and will return after slaying her in battle. And if I cannot kill her, I will not then return any more. O best of warriors, better stand on my side with all your forces and kill that lady in no time with sharp arrows. Nishuma said, Today I will go to battle and slay that Kalika, and will shortly return here with Ambika. O king, do not think at all for that lady. See my world-conquering strength and look at that weak woman. There's a vast difference. Cast aside your great mental anxiety and trouble. Enjoy, O brother, excellent things. I will bring that dignified lady with all honors before you. O king, you ought not go to the battle when I am alive. I will presently go to the fight and bring for you that lady as a sign of our victory. Thus saying, the younger brother, proud of his own strength, went hurriedly to the battlefield, mounted on his big chariot. He was protected all over his body by this coat of armor, and he was well provided with various weapons and all other accoutrements of war. The bards began to sing hymns to him, and various other propitious ceremonies were being performed. Here ends the 29th chapter, the 5th book, on the killing of Ratabija in the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, the Mahapurana of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Veda Vyasa. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Harakandeshvari Mata ki jai, Vishveshvari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.